I'm so depressed. I don't know if I should laugh, cry. I wanna say first that I am a old veteran of the Battlefield series. I remember when I booted up first time Battlefield 1942. Those were the times. Those were the times. And then it progressed to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2 and Battlefield 4. Ever since Battlefield 4, it's just been declining. It's just been in a depressing decline, sadly, for the Battlefield series. I remember back when you play Battlefield and the Call of Duty, they were World War II's eras, especially for the Call of Duty series, like Call of Duty 1, 2, the Big Red 1 and 3, and then you have the Modern Warfare, and then World War, which one of the best, maybe second, but to me it's the best Call of Duty game out there, and mainly because of the campaign, in my opinion. The multiplayer is also fantastic. In that, sadly, the servers are pretty empty nowadays. And the Battlefield, they're always been some sort of place among the top of FPS games. It's so depressing. I don't wanna. DICE had lost it. I'm sorry to tell you, but DICE, it's not the same DICE anymore. They probably are the same people who made, for example, Battlefield 4, 3 and Bad Company and that sort of things. But it's not the same game. It's like someone has made a copy of a typical Battlefield game and made it worse. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Battlefield 2042. So let's start with the visuals. It can look beautiful, yes, from a distance, but when you get up and close, it's so ugly. It's so ugly. Like the models of the humans, environment, even surrounding you, it's so ugly. I don't understand. It's so ugly. Even on the highest graphical settings, it's so ugly. Like Battlefield 1 looked it's still looking amazing, and Battlefield 2042 looks ugly, especially the humans. They look so non-humans to me. Like the eyes are super big. I don't know. I don't know if this is some sort of glitch or bug that's making this, but the humans looks ugly. That's what I'm saying here. From distance it looks good, but up and close it looks bad. Really, really bad. If I'm gonna give a point 1 to 10 for graphics and visuals, a 4 out of 10. I can't give it like higher. I just can't. Like Battlefield 1 is a 9 out of 10. It's such a beautiful game. Battlefield 5, yeah, even that one looks better. So if I would say which is the best Battlefield game out there, man, which one should I choose? Opinion-wise, I would say Battlefield 1. I know a lot of people don't like Battlefield 1, but I actually did. I think first of all, it's a beautiful game to look at. It's such a masterpiece to look at. The graphics, the visuals, the grenades, the tanks, the weapons, the effects of explosions. It's just amazing to look at. Even with no HUD or something, you're just playing in the game like with no HUD. You can be distracted pretty easy by the visuals surrounding you. And then you have Battlefield 2042. I have to be honest and say it can look good from a distance, as I said, but it is so ugly in up and close. It's so hard for me to do this review because I'm a very old Battlefield veteran. I played every single Battlefield, including that, what was it, kind of like the Fortnite kind of looking Battlefield. You know, it was kind of like cartoonish. I don't remember what it was called, something Battlefield something something. I don't remember. And Battlefield Vietnam, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, even though Battlefield 4 was very buggy as well, but it wasn't this buggy or as 2042. And then you have Battlefield 1, which sure it was buggy, it was buggy, but it was quickly fixed. And all the updates were awesome. DLCs were very awesome. I'm so angry in a way. I'm so sad in the same time. It's so irritating. It's so sad. I don't want to make this review, but I have to. What has happened to Battlefield? If I have to include every single problem this game has, it's going to be a long video. I'm sure someone has done a much better job analyzing this clusterfuck of a game right now, but I'm just gonna say my opinion. Visually, 4 out of 10. Sound, even they're royally fucked up somehow. Like the guns sounds awful, and the explosions sounds even more awfully, and the tanks and everything, it's so bad. And then you have the theme song. The famous, awesome, legendary theme song we gamers know about. It's butchered. I don't know what it sounds like. It's like someone is dragging a big metal chunk of debris across some sort of chalkboard. It sounds ear-bleeding, ear-deafening, like your ears are bleeding at this point. I mean, Battlefield 5's theme was pretty awesome. Where is this going? And then you have the music. The music in general is just awful, and the voices from those characters sounds awful. They're high quality, but their voice acting and that sort of is, and the comments they are saying is childish in a war. Like, oh my god, this is a terrible game. Even Call of Duty Vanguard, it's somehow a little bit better. And here I'm gonna say it, I hate Vanguard, latest Call of Duty, even though it's World War II, but it is what you call it, a fictional World War II. And I'm just gonna say it, I'm one of those who are strongly against what these people are doing. Like, for example, Battlefield 5, if you remember, especially that heavy water mission where you play this teenage girl together with this who's infiltrating a German heavy water facility to get to his mom, and like, honestly, and all that is fictional. It never happened, and it's just disrespecting the Norwegian soldiers who went in there without shooting a single shot. Sorry, but I have to say it, but I'm sick and tired of people trying to defend fictional history about women and all that. Sure, there were women in military, but they didn't serve in the front lines. Only women who managed to hide their, gender and all that pretty well. They didn't manage to get to the front line. And okay, gameplay wise, like gunplay, here's the thing. Battlefield has always been about gunplay, the fun with squad-based gameplay. Sadly, they have pretty much sent that to what you call it, the garbage dump. No more 5 squad, it's more like 4 nowadays for some reason. And you pretty much don't need to communicate to win a match or be the best squad anymore. You can be in a random squad with random people. You don't have to be organized. You don't have to be disciplined to go out and you can pretty much do a solo Rambo. Yeah, Battlefield has always been kind of that. But I feel like Battlefield 1, even though, it was kind of a little bit like that, it was still like structural. Even though you didn't have a mic and didn't communicate, you were still a part of the team. You were still doing your part. Even if you were in a tank with randoms, you would still be organized and structural. You wouldn't be communicating directly, but almost like visually. If the tank is like driving on the main road, the driver is seeing someone, but the gunner don't, he will stop, and which will make the gunner be a little more open eyes, so to say. That kind of thing. That now it's just one-man tank basically. Well, you can jump in several other places, but yeah, it's like Battlefield 4, I know, but Battlefield 4, even there, the tanks were much more organized and structural than this shit. Vehicles in this game is just, yeah, the drop-in system is so stupid. Like, why? I don't think any military in the world right now, or even in the future, maybe Russia, would have the luxury to send in tanks after tanks after tanks into a small area to fight for. Not really, because so far as I know about military, I don't know what they're doing in the military now with systems, all kind of military systems and all that sort of thing. But when I did my military service, they pretty much said, you know, tanks have played a huge part in military, but they're pretty much obsolete by this point. Sure, you can have them in the forest and hiding places, and they are mobile artillery basically nowadays, which is kind of awful because I really loved driving a tank, and I do love driving tanks in games and all that back in the day when they did it in reality and all that. But yeah, tanks in warfare nowadays is pretty much obsolete if they're not like a poorer country. Maybe tanks would play a much more role back then. I mean, look at it. What was it? The Gulf War, when Iraq with its huge tank armies went up against a small expeditionary force from the US, and they were just annihilated on the battlefield. Though they were much more outdated tanks, there was still a huge amount, like, you know, the good old saying, quality versus quantity. Who would win? In World War II, it was quantity against quality. Basically, the quantity being Soviet Union and the quality being Nazi Germany, and the quantity wins. Then you have the Cold War, but that was mostly just about spies and space race and money and proxy wars. Just like that, in like Vietnam War, quality versus quantity. Quantity won. The guns, the gunplay, they're trashed in this game. Like, I know it's mostly because of the bugs and glitches. It could be a better game, but so far the gunplay is it's so awful that I have to give it like a 2 out of 10. Like, it is that bad. I don't know if you have had some sort of problem, but I have massive problem with gunplay. For example, I'm shooting someone more than once in the head, and it doesn't even register it. And then you just shoot me, and I'm dead. And also this system where you can kind of like modernize your weapon, upgrade it on the battlefield, like selecting scopes and flashlight maybe. I don't remember exactly. I pretty much never used this system. I don't even play with a scope. Like, I always hate playing with scope. That's why I liked about Battlefield 1, for example. I loved the sniper class because I wanted to be more, you know, more realistic, you know, bolt action, which was the standard weapon for all the military in that time. But also I became really good with a bolt action in Battlefield 1. I mean, I was sniping people from across the map without even using the scope. I'm not lying. I managed to get like hundreds of kills in one map. Which was it? It was that the one where you start at the Western Front, you know, in the trenches, and you progress into a small village, and you progress out into the fields. Man, I should play that game again. It was some time ago, maybe like 2 years or something. I really liked that game. It was really fun to play with friends and even solo. It was so fun. This, even with friends, even though you have so much fun laughing at all this pure clusterfuck that is happening, it's still depressing. It's not fun to play. So as I said, gameplay wise, 2 out of 10. It's depressing. I just want to move on. Okay, what about the world, the maps, for example? I didn't like majority of these maps. They are very cramped down. Some of them are really big, and I like that. I like when they are extremely big. But They are not beautiful. They're not beautiful to look at from distance, maybe, but not up close. They're ugly. I'm sorry to say it, but a lot of them are ugly. I like the events, however. You know, the tornado, the storms, that sort of thing. That actually really cool. It kind of reminded, sadly, in a way, it reminded me about Battlefield 4. You know what? You know, the tropical way. I always call it Tropical Wake Island. It's not Wake Island, if I remember correctly. But I remember when the storm came in, and buildings and crumbling in Shanghai, I think it was. When buildings fall down, you just have to like run just to the edge and you just jump. And when you jump and pull your parachute, you can see the buildings behind you just coming down, and in the tropical map you see this storm coming in, and then you see one of the destroyers start moving and just crashes into the island, and you just and then you have that big, what do you call it now, radar installation or something like that, where everything just collapsing, it's just exploding. It's so cool. But here, with the tornado and storms and that sort of things, even the crumbling buildings, everything looks ugly, and it's in a way irritating because it always somehow come up in a bad time, and it can pretty much ruin the small fun you have at the moment. Sure, a lot of people think it's more fun, flying into the tornado. It's cool, and it's at the beginning really fun, I can admit, but after a couple of matches, you kind of like, okay, dude, stop it. I'm trying to play a game here. It's like your mom is coming and just be like, hey, the dinner is ready. Oh, no, not again. But yeah, the maps, the majority of them I didn't like. I don't feel they were special, except for that, what do you call it, like the space facility. That one was okay. I mean, it was in the beta, pre-order stuff and that sort of thing. It was the only one I was feeling like kinda liked, but I feel like they could have made the maps a little bit smaller here, which is rare for me to say, because I feel like if they wanted to have a big map, they should make it more feel alive. I don't know how to say it. It doesn't feel alive. It doesn't feel like realistic. And then of course the squads, 4 instead of 5, and all of the Rambo solo people. It's no wonder I moved on from Battlefield. Ever since Battlefield 1, I pretty much played maybe a couple of matches from Battlefield 5, and I just wanted to play this because I will say I kind of like the settings here for the Battlefield 2042. It's 20 years in the future, and the world's resources have almost depleted, and its climate change has gone rogue, and nations are now fighting over Arctic resources and that sort of thing. That sounds cool. That's how I know it's gonna sound cynical and that sort of thing, but I think that's the future, guys. We're going to have some sort of bigger proxy wars between the big powers. Maybe not like total confrontation between United States of America versus China. If you're gonna look at it from a realistic point of view, it's gonna end the world basically. I mean, even though they're fighting in the Pacific, the big ocean, the economy is going to crumble the entire world from this regional war, basically. I mean, sending people like, okay, let's go fight in Arctic, let's go to the ice, boys. That's what I think is going to happen. I think the world powers are going to scramble. It's going to be a new scramble for Africa, basically. But instead it's going to be like a scramble for the North Pole or South Pole. now when depleting resources and that sort of thing. So I like the settings. I do think that this could have been a really cool settings, but the gameplay, sounds, and all of this, it's just depressing. It's not working. As I said, I moved on from Battlefield now. I feel like this is the last straw. I don't want to play any more Battlefield. If this is the path they're choosing, I'm done with Battlefield. I'm done with DICE. I'm done with Battlefield. It's so depressing to know that EA has pretty much fucked all of the game studios who used to be on the top of the world. BioWare with Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and then you have DICE with Battlefield. I don't know if should I blame EA for this game? I mean, I should. Battlefront games and that sort of thing. You know, the casino Star Wars, which has been becoming much more playable and enjoyable, I can agree. I don't know what's going on. I'm done with DICE. I can't play another Battlefield. I'm sorry. I just can't handle it anymore. So I would rather play a realistic warfare. You know, like Postscriptum, which is hardcore realistic. You have to be in a squad. Well, you don't have to, but if you want to go around Rambo solo, there's a small penalty for that. For example, you're not allowed to have machine guns or any kind of equipment you want. You're basically having the standard basic military equipment that army had for a standard soldier. If you want to have more better gears and that sort of thing, you have to be in a squad and you have to choose classes. Like, do you want to be an engineer, or do you want to be a medic? Do you want to be a radio man? Do you want to be the commander? Do you want to be a standard soldier, but maybe a little bit more better equipment than the basic one? Or do you want to be a sniper? Do you want to be a recon? That sort of thing. Or you can be like a second in command. Like it's so cool to have all this, and all of them have their work. They gotta fit the work. They can't just, a second commander can just go out and play solo, Rambo solo on these massive maps. No, you gotta stay with your commander, yeah, and your team. You can't just go away and play a goddamn solo Rambo solo shit and that sort of thing. You gotta stay with your team. You gotta stay intact, and you gotta communicate to each other. Like, without communication, you're done. You can't play Postscriptum basically if you don't chat and that sort of thing. You gotta stay organized, structural, and have discipline to win a fucking map. And that's even a game like what is it called now again? Hell Let Loose. It's kind of like in the middle of Battlefield and Postscriptum, and it's a perfect blender of both these games, system and tactics and gameplay. So it's no wonder why I moved on from Battlefield. I don't want to play this solo people crap. I don't want to play this claustrophobic war where explosions happening everywhere. I'm tired of being shot in the back by Rambos, and I want a Battlefield where it's structural. Even if there's not even if you don't fire your rifle a single time for almost an hour, it's still fun, like in Postscriptum. But yeah, I know it's not a structural, analytical analysis of this game or a good review. I'm just depressed seeing something happen to Battlefield and DICE. I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play a Battlefield game. I'm gonna go and boot up Hell Let Loose or Postscriptum right now, or War of Rights, you know, a civil war game who's even more structural and more fun than Battlefield. Man, I'm becoming old. I don't know, maybe it's my age right now. I mean, I'm 27. It's not a lot, but man, when you play Battlefield back in the days, like 15 years ago, or 10 years ago, 15 years ago, oh, those were times. Overall, if I have to give a point to Battlefield 1 to 10, I'm gonna say a 3. Visually, it's good in a distance, but it needs it needs work. I have to tell you that. And the bugs and glitches, it's a mess down, and then you have no campaign in this game, and you don't have, and the classes are pure trash, or the specialist stuff you should say, they're pure trash. I really want to have something like Battlefield 1 or Hell Let Loose or Postscriptum classes. You know, if you choose a class, you're gonna stick to that job. You gotta do your job. You know, stick up for the team. And sound wise, I mean, how can you fucked up that? Like, Postscriptum and Hell Let Loose have one of the best warfare sounds in my opinion. And then you have vehicles. I'm tired of seeing like hovers going up buildings and flying across the map almost in a glitchy way, and then seeing vehicles just doing this destroyed vehicles going around. They are dead, but visually, I don't know if there's some sort of visual bug where the tanks are destroyed, but they're still actually functional. It's a mess. It's a freaking mess. So yeah, this has been a depressing review, sadly. Not a very structural. I mean, I just came out from the battlefield. I'm so sick and tired of it. And well, I should say I was forced out of the game because it crashed for the 20th time. Man, how low the iron might has fallen. I'm not just talking about Battlefield here. I'm talking about Call of Duty as well. I'm talking about. I'm gonna say it. I'm more of a Battlefield person. Nowadays more a post-scriptum kind of guy, where it's much more structural and organized than this. And the only positive thing here I have to say is I'm actually waiting for Angry Joe's review on this. I mean, I'm a long fan of the Angry Joe show and that sort of thing. I can't wait for it. if you haven't watched his angry rant about that. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, go and watch that. I'm gonna link it. You gotta see it. It's so perfect how he describes it. I can't be that mad, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you at least find this somehow enlightened about this game. Like from someone who's been a long distance fan, and nowadays I'm just sick and tired of this shit. If I'm paying, like if you look at the price, okay, I'm just gonna say one thing about the price. $110 fucking dollars or euros for this case for this broken fucking game. 110 euros. 110 fucking euros for this piece of garbage shitty game. I feel like CG Projekt Red's, slimy ways with Cyberpunk 2077. That whole deal. I feel like at least they have not redeemed themselves yet. Met all the lies and that sort of thing. I mean, I should do a review on Cyberpunk, to be honest, but that's far away now. At least I can go with $60, but $110 euros. Man, I'm confusing dollars and euros from somehow all the time, but they pretty much the same values in Swedish crowns. Like, oh my god, I can buy so much food for those money and other things that can be more helpful and more fun to do than this game. Even 60 euros is for this game is shit. It's not even worth 20 at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna say just don't buy this game. Fuck Battlefield. Fuck DICE for overpricing this pure shit of a game. Anyway, hope you at least find this enlightenment. I'm just gonna boot up something else, play something more fun, take some time off this frustrating, wasted time in my opinion on this game. It's so depressing and sad, really sad to see something this happening to DICE and Battlefield.